This is Everlasting Lucifer, episode, I think, 38. And it's a chapter called Gold Spot. I do remember them, Kaitaki said. Oh, they've sort of melted. She tried to unpeel one of the rubber Gold Spot Jungle Book tokens from a pile. Was it Mowgli? Nothing doing. I think you could send them off and claim something. However did we get so many? The head waiter at the Gymkhana was a great friend of yours, remember? Said Joy Mama. He saved them for you when he could. Kaitaki dropped the rubbery mass back into the carton. Let it go, she said. All of it. I don't even know the people it used to belong to anymore. Her uncle smiled, his eyes crinkling. Much of this is yours, no? That's what I mean, she said. I feel the same, he said, touching her shoulder with his fingertips. Why are we keeping all this? Not for me. But of course there may be further generations of this family to come. Throw it away, Kaitaki said. There are memories I'd be glad to see go. I know, Kaithu. I still can't sleep in that room, she said. But other things of his don't bother me. That awful skin lampshade, for instance, from which the light, she admitted, is so lovely. She looked at her good uncle. It's half receded into being like a ghost story. Not quite. But it's not for me in a way. Not from now. In the ashram, I wasn't thinking about it directly, but I cried a lot the first week or two. I couldn't stop myself. Kaithu, said Joy Mama. She held his hand. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. For a long time it was there inside me. I think it stopped me from feeling I could be close to anyone. The two of them left the storeroom and continued the tour of the house. He said, He knows he can never come back here. What a strange life it must be for him. Kaitaki smiled. I know, said Joy Mama. I've been cut off from things too, but it's different. I hear from people. They telephone, even if I no longer bother attending weddings and that sort of thing. As he spoke, he was putting things from the corridor shelves into a plastic sack. Kaitaki reached out her hand to carry it. Sweet of you, Kaithu. You always were such a companionable child. He put his large warm hand on her head for a moment. We are the survivors, he said. The renegades. He laughed. Now the study. They went into the library. Kaitaki smiled. Even if they were, in a way, dismantling the house, their shared sense of irony remained. She rolled herself a cigarette, aware of her uncle watching her. It does feel pretentious to do this in front of you, she said. He laughed. Give me a puff. Afterwards he grimaced. That first little lift is nice, but now I feel sick. I don't think I'll do that again. She laughed. You never tried it when you were young? He nodded. Oh yes, it was the same then. They both laughed. I don't like the idea of dependence, Kaitaki said. Habit. Speaking of which, if I get married, will you come? A small thing, not a big thing. Oh, their uncle smiled. I like Ved. He isn't stupid. So did he finally ask? No, Kaitaki said. I'll probably have to ask him if I can stop changing my mind about it every 10 minutes. I'm afraid of his faults, she confessed. And then when I think harder, I'm terrified of mine. It's not surprising, said her uncle, when you consider the first people you loved, those who were meant to look after you. I know she's my sister, but she was a terrible mother. Consistency is a great virtue in a parent. He roamed, looking at the bookshelves. I don't know that I have the energy for the books just now, Kaithu. It's a terrible trap, what with this absurd upbringing of ours. Either one wants to hang on to all of them, or they may as well all go. Some must have their value. The Assamese novels, the periodicals, the puja numbers. Yet in a way they too are so much dead skin, aren't they? Are you planning to take Vanvas and wander off? Kaitaki demanded. Then she laughed at herself. I shouldn't be possessive about people, you, Ved. I have this urge to know, to control things, but the more I get into it, the more anxious I feel. She was leaning against the back of the wing chair, and absent-minded she turned on the standard lamp with its odd skin shade. A warm, soft light half filled the room. Her uncle smiled. Why do you need to project into the future? If you want to be with Ved now, that's enough. I'm nervous, she said, about tying my happiness to someone else's vagaries. He smiled. But haven't you already done so? Isn't it done, rather? You are living a human life, after all. That's what you chose. He sat down on the worn Kashmir rug, cross-legged. Kaitaki looked at him. His eyes behind the spectacles were full of love, yet intelligent beyond his relationship with her. Life can be as vast as the sky or the sea and change all the time, he said. Let yourself be inconsistent. You always know what to do. They were both still. Let's get some dinner, he said. Tidying can go on tomorrow. You're here for a few days, aren't you? When they were getting ready to go to the car, he sighed. I do miss Tuku, That boy was such good company for me. But it's all right, Ketu. Life has its phases.